hopefully I can do this without too much problem. I don't really have, oh Lord, I don't really have a good setup for my phone, so I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to find some way to prop this up. Okay, I guess that's better. Lord, what a night. As I was saying, I'm eating my adaptation of Claire's poor man's dinner, and so she made hers with hot dogs and fried potatoes, and I made mine with sausage. It's just regular breakfast sausage and fried potatoes. So it's going to be sort of a mukbang, although I'm not really trying to do that. But I got to eat, and I wanted to get a video out to you, and I've got 10,000 other things to do. So I will try to be polite while I'm eating. But somebody back a while ago asked me, excuse me, about mistakes that I had made and what I learned from them. And I don't make a lot of cleaning mistakes per se, but there are some business mistakes I made. So I'm talking to you actually on my phone right now, and this was a big one. So this is my old phone, and what happened with the phone I had before this, I dropped it in a bucket of water and it died. It completely died. And so this is the phone I got to replace it, and as you can see, it is in really sad condition. Look at this corner here. This kept, what the mistake is I did not get one of those cases to put it in. So within no time at all, I mean like within a week, I dropped it on concrete. It slid down somebody's driveway, and that was the beginning of it. I dropped it a couple times. You can see I dropped it here, and that all the glass is gone. But then when I was using it, it was like cutting it in my side of my face and cutting my hair and all kinds of lovely things. So if you do a kind of job where you need your phone and yet you have lots of opportunities to destroy it, I suggest that you get a case, the protective cover thing on it, because I still drop my phone. It doesn't protect from mop water. As a matter of fact, it might actually be impeding it because you can't get it open fast enough. But as far as dropping it and banging it up, I had it taped together. That's sad, right? But anyway, I did get a new phone, and it has a case, and I put a cover over the screen as well. So I learned that the hard way. Yeah, because part of the problem is when I dropped my phone in, it was not an expected expense, so I went as cheap as I could, because I have to have the phone. It's part of my business. So that's a big one. So anyway, I kind of have this theory on mistakes. I don't remember, well, I know it was Thomas Edison. I don't remember the exact quote, but he was kind of accused of making a lot of mistakes, because it took him like 100 and some odd times to figure out how to make a light bulb. And he said he didn't make all these mistakes or have all these failures. Basically what he found out was 100 and however many times ways not to make a light bulb. So I don't always think of mistakes as that way, and I'm kind of old, so I just don't make that many mistakes as far as the actual cleaning. But I can tell you, obviously, I can drop something in my mop bucket. So I'm going to tell you a little horror story that actually turned out good for the lady that I was working for. She had a brand new house, beautiful house, brand new. I'm upstairs in the master bathroom, cleaning her bathroom, and I was down on my hands and knees or whatever, and I backed into my mop bucket, and the whole thing spilled onto the floor, which would have been fine. She had a ceramic tile floor, but where the floor and the shower came together, they did not caulk it properly. So as I'm scurrying to mop this up, the water is leaking through the floor into the ceiling downstairs. And so she's hollering up to me like, what's going on? So I go down and I look, and I am horrified, because the water, not only is it leaking through her ceiling, it's coming down the light fixture in her eating area. it's coming down the entire electrical light fixture, which happens to be on at the moment. And the water, I don't know how this happened, actually went into her light bulb. It was collecting in the bottom of the bulb, so we had her turn it off. Um, the reason why that turned out good is because she didn't know that this caulk wasn't done properly. And I didn't know either. I mean, the way we found out was because I flooded her bathroom. Um, so she was able to call the builder and have them come in and prepare it. So that was kind of, it was nerve wracking, but you know, it was an accident. I don't think it was a mistake. And then there was another accident I had. These tile floors are great. They clean nicely. The grout might be a pain in the neck sometime, but basically they're nice floors. They're durable. They clean up nicely. But when you drop stuff on them, it can break. So I'm cleaning another house, and they had this little like cafe table in this part of their house, and it was on one of these white ceramic floors, white with white grout. And I was doing something. I think I was vacuuming. Yes, I was vacuuming. Well, this table was covered with all kinds of stuff papers and things. They just kind of dropped stuff on it when they came in the house, so it was clutter. And it was something that I didn't really mess with because it always looked like personal stuff and mail and things that I wouldn't want to go through. It's not part of my um, as a fly on my food, which I'm not eating. But anyway, I just don't go through certain things like mail and whatever bags that they bring in from the store. So I knocked the table and there was a bottle of nail polish on there, and it was bright red. Okay. And it fell down and went everywhere. I mean, it was terrible. It was like a murder scene. It looked like this blood, red nail polish went all over this white floor. Um, so the good thing was, I was able to reach her at work, and she told me where to find the polish remover because, of course, I don't carry that around. So I got most of it up, but in the grout, because grout is rough, it looked a little pink. I did the best I could. But I guess you could call this something I learned. They're like pens. They're shaped like pens, and they're grout. They're for coloring over like discolorations in the grout. It's like a marker, or like they're metal, so it's paint. It's paint, and you shake it, but then you put it on like a marker, and it never really did cover it up. It was still kind of pink, but the lady was such a good sport about it, and I told her it was good polish too. It was like Orly polish. I don't know if Orly is pretty good polish, and it's not a cheap polish. And it was a great color red, So I felt bad about that, but she was such a good sport about it, and it went on my vacuum cleaner too. I had this red polish on my vacuum cleaner for a long time, and it just it was a reminder. Actually, the polish on my vacuum cleaner was a bit of a reminder to watch what you're doing, maybe slow down a little bit and be careful. Don't bang into things or whatever I did. I don't know. But those are the two horror stories that I have. One other thing and this was truly a mistake. It was a learning experience. And I think actually that this still happens, even though things have changed with Craigslist since I started using them. But Craigslist has been a very valuable tool for me, but they have rules, and one of the rules they have is not to overpost. So they want you to put like 48 hours between your posts, and I didn't know that in the beginning. So I was posting, pretty regularly and too close together, and then what happens is you get ghosted. Now, I believe that they'll still do this even though they're collecting your money, because if you're advertising for services, you have to pay, and there's some other types of advertising that you have to pay, but definitely for services you have to. And it's $5, but if you're posting a $5 ad and you're not reaching anybody, that's a waste of money, and it can add up. So just want to make sure I space my ads when I post them, far enough that I don't get ghosted. So that was kind of a big one that cost me money. Not at the time I wasn't paying, but it cost me money that I could have made if I'd have known better. Another thing that I did that this was so dumb. I went somewhere and I actually write my appointments down in an appointment book by hand in pencil so that if somebody cancels, I can erase it. And I had bought a really nice organizer at Staples. It cost me $40. It was beautiful. I loved it. And I had gone somewhere to a house to do an estimate or something. I don't know what happened, but I got distracted and I set my appointment book on top of my car and drove away. And then later on realized I didn't have it, so I'm backtracking and I go back to this house, and it hadn't been that long, but it was long enough, and there was a lady walking down the street with what was left of my appointment book, and it was probably me that drove over it, but it had been run over at least a couple times, and she had found it, and it was funny because she says, "This is probably really important to somebody." I was like, "Yes, my entire life is right there in your hands." So I try to be more careful with my appointment book because it is my life. It tells me everything that I need to do, when to do, where to do it, who to call, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that, I have to guard that like a child because it's that important to me. So that was a mistake. I can't really think of any cleaning mistakes that I've made. I have all of my stuff really well labeled, so I don't pick up something like, furniture polish and spray it on a mirror or anything like that. I keep my stuff pretty well labeled. And I have routines and now my nose itches. Routines and personal policies, I guess, because most of the time I work by myself. But just things that I do regularly so that I can stay on task. I don't make mistakes, so, habit and just general practices that I do to, keep myself moving smoothly and in a timely fashion, efficiently. So, and a lot of that came from studying and watching videos and reading books and things like that. So I do have a question for you. I have a couple books. One is the speed cleaning book. That's kind of like my handbook. That's where I learned most of the things that I do to keep my time efficient. If you'd like, I can do a book review on that. You have to let me know in the comments. There's another book. I have to find it. It's about being organized, and the author is Donna Otto. She has a couple videos on YouTube, but not many. She's a Christian lady, and she's not really big into YouTube, but her book is really, really good on a personal level as far as getting organized. And I can tell you a couple stories about that book and her philosophy and how it's helped me in two different situations, one in my ladies prayer group and another one in another job that I had before I started this business, from ideas that I got from her book and how I implemented her concepts into my personal life and my business life, or my spiritual life and my business life. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Just type Donna Otto in the comments and I'll know what book it has to deal with. And I'm trying to think if there was another book. Thing off the top of my head. Those two right there are probably the most valuable books I've ever read, other than, of course, the Bible and things like that. But as far as being organized and running my business and how to get things done, those two books. So let me know if you're interested in those. And I think that's it for now. I'm always looking for questions. So any kind of questions that you have about my business, how I do something, how do you fix, a certain cleaning problem, please let me know down below. You guys are awesome. And I'm so sorry it's been so long, but I'm back. Oh, there's one other thing, and let me know what you think about this. I might just go ahead and do it anyway. But how do you feel about Tip Tuesdays? They're just quick little videos on different ways to stay organized, or to cleaning tips, or ways to start your day. Let me know what you think about that, and I'll see what I can do to help you out with that. So anyway, I gotta go because I really do need to eat, and then I gotta do my dishes and a couple other things, and you can see it's starting to get dark. But you guys are great. Thanks for stopping by. Love you. Mwah.